the process of becoming awake is realizing that there are two types of reality. There's the reality where you experience something and you have a lot of identifying happening about what is happening, what you are experiencing. There's a lot of assumption and a lot of guessing, a lot of judgment, a lot of things happening, and then you think whether it's good or whether it's bad. All that is one reality. All that is what I call fantasy. And then you have reality. And reality is what is. That's it. And all the Fetter work is about realizing that. All the Fetter work is about that. So all the Fetter work is concepts. Is concepts leading you to a deeper insight about what actually is, what reality actually is. It's just helping you to kind of turn on the kaleidoscope to figure out what really is, to see things from a different angle. And you will experience that when we move to another Fetter, that you have, oh my goodness, I have already thought about that. Or when you are in a Fetter, that you will realize with your guide that what you're realizing right now, it's actually placed in a different Fetter. It's because it's only concepts. It's only to have some kind of navigation system to working in a way that is leading you and putting awareness to the different aspects. But it is just concepts. You can for a while take the concept of the Fetter and put it into the place and into the beliefs that you have of something else right now. That you might have a belief of, I don't know, psychotherapy working, and that's your belief, and that's a hill you would like to die on, then you can take the Fetter model and replace it with another belief. It is just a belief that is being replaced. And it is just one concept being exchanged with another concept. At some point, when you get to the ninth Fetter, you're realizing that there are no concepts. In reality, there's no concepts. But it's just to help you to have kind of like a direction, or having a system that is triggering all the things that you haven't looked at yet. I meet a lot of people that say that you don't need to do Fetter work. A lot of people do not acknowledge Fetter work. They say that it's not needed at all. As soon as you have understood that all of it is identifying with a separate self, and when you have understood that, you've understood all of it. And I completely agree. That is absolutely true. It's not my experience, though. It's not my experience. It's not my experience that people, some people can listen to Jim Newman or Parsons or what's it called, Nothing Media, or any of those. Some people can listen to that and go, oh my God, there we have it. And then they understand it, everything falls away. My experience is that the majority of people still have craving for foods. They still have a belief that there's something bigger than me. The universe has my back, or God has my back. There's still beliefs, still doubt before going into an interview. Those things are still happening. And if that is happening, then there's still work to do. Because when you come to the 10th Fetter and you realize your ignorance, realize that you are ignorant, period. You are. Of course you are. And of course we are. And we will always be. Understanding that, there's a lot of wisdom in that. Being in a position where you say, I have nothing left of any of the fetters, that is ignorance. That is ignorance. And I like the Fetter work, and I like the concept of the Fetter work, because it keeps questioning you. It keeps questioning your experience. It keeps questioning what is going on in your experience, and it keeps questioning the identifying that you have with an experience. And I think that is super valuable. When you start now with the first fetter, you can do the first 3 fetters on your own. Or, you can do it. I wouldn't recommend it. I would like for you to start to see that you're not in this alone. Because part of the thing of wanting to do things on your own, that is a part of identification. You're identifying with something that you would prefer to do it alone. And as you might know, I'm Asperger's, and we have this strong urge to do things on our own. I did all the 10 fetters on my own. I wouldn't recommend anybody to do that. Even if you're Asperger's, I wouldn't recommend you to do this, because there's a lot of things which you cannot realize on your own. Whatever you see or whatever you experience, it is always within your experience. You're always limited by your experience. And whatever you understand about your experiences is always have a starting point in previous experiences. When you are in a group or when you are with a guide, then they have a different starting point than you, which means that another person's starting point will give you a completely different experience, completely different insights that you would never have realized and reached on your own. And when I am so arrogant to sit and say that I did the fetter work on my own, it's not true, actually, because I have had groups since 2004. And for every single group I have had, I have realized things about myself. I realized a lot by creating the material for this, which means that I'm not doing it on my own. I'm doing it with the help of other people. And in that sense, even though I was the teacher and they were the pupils or the clients or the patients, then I realized a lot of things in the interaction. And that interaction is so important in your process. So even though you can do it alone, and if you are sitting on a desert island and you're the only one there, then find a coconut to talk to, or a volleyball to talk to. You need to say the words out loud. You need to hear your thoughts. And it's a great idea, it's a great practice to start doing right now, that whatever you think, you say out loud. Because the first thing you're going to realize is that a lot of the things you're thinking are bizarre, really, really bizarre. And when you hear it out loud, you can see how bizarre they are. The other thing you're going to realize is that the majority of your thoughts are repetitions. It's not new original thoughts that you have. The majority of thoughts you have is something you have thought before. And it might even be something that you thought 2 minutes ago. You experience that a lot when you're trying to remember your shopping list, when you're going grocery shopping and you try to remember all the things you need to buy. As soon as you write it down, you realize, oh my goodness, it wasn't 28 different items that I need to buy for my fridge. It was 3. But because you kept thinking about the same thing over and over and over. So I can advise you to start thinking out loud. So you really hear how bizarre it is, but also so you hear how many assumptions are tied into the thoughts that you have.